Hey, Dean, I was thinking about this really cool topic for a video, and I hope that you like it. I wanted to talk today about hodling. Have you ever heard of that term, hodling?
I sure have. I'm an expert hodler myself.
I actually had a feeling you might be. And, the kind of funny thing is, are you you're either a hodler or you're not, or could you be both? I think that's probably the question that I want to kind of pose today. Could you be both a hodler and a trader? A trader.
I think you could
Invest.
because I think I know someone. I think I'm looking at someone right now who both trades and hodls. But why don't you tell us first of all, how do you spell hodl?
Well, I was always thinking that people were just being silly and they were just saying hold and they were just saying it wrong, right? Or maybe it was the word hold in another language. So for years, I never knew what HODL stood for, and I just figured they were saying hold wrong. As it turns out, it's kind of similar to hold, but I think you spell it HODL. And for years, I never had an idea of what that term stood for. So I actually went and looked it up, but it wasn't too long ago. And I understand that it's an acronym for something. Um, do you know how long have you known what HODL means?
Oh, well, it's funny because you're the first person that I heard that term from a couple of years ago. I told you my strategy, and you said, "Oh, you're a hodler," and I was like, "I am? Oh, okay." And I also similarly thought that it was just some mispronunciation of holding, but I went and looked it up at that time, so I've known for a little while. I
Yeah.
sort of suspect that they backed into it. I think maybe somebody's misspelled it, and then they're like, "Oh, that's funny. Let's run with it." And then they were like, "Let's figure out if we can make it mean something." You know how they do that sometimes with acronyms. Okay,
Right.
so for the audience, what does hodling stand for?
Well, here's the thing. Since I only looked it up a little while ago and you looked it up 2 years ago, I think it would be fitting if you actually said what HODL stands for.
Okay, all right, cool. Because I actually want to. I want to be the one. Here it goes. Because this is my jam, man. I'm the hodler. It stands for, and it is actually a very good description of the situation. HODL stands for hold on for dear life. So if you own a ton of crypto, how do you get from point A, which is hopefully a low price, to point B, which is hopefully a high price? You hold on for dear life because it's not just a straight line. It goes up and down and all around and in circles and death valley traps and peaks and ups and downs. And then hopefully maybe you get to that final destination.
It's like think of one of the best roller coasters you've ever been on, right? It's that.
One of the scariest roller coasters you've ever
Exactly. Best and scariest, right? So yeah, you have to have a good stomach for it. The good news is that in the last year, we've been watching the roller coaster go up, 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 up. But you know what happens next, right? Everyone kind of expects that, and we have seen it kind of go up and down, but it stayed in a range at least. But so this HODL thing, I've been doing for a while as well, and I HODL into cold storage, which is a topic actually I want to discuss in another video. So we'll make a video and we'll go ahead and put that, attach that to this video for another time. But I was always thinking, I like the idea of holding it, but I also like the game of investing and trading. And so I'm like, well, this is kind of stupid. If I use all my funds to invest in trade, or I have all my funds in hodling, then I'm in one paradigm or the other. So what I started to do is I started to take my proceeds from my trading and I started turning those into a hodling account. And I thought, well, won't this be fun? I'll just kind of store it over here. And over time, that hodling account has become bigger and bigger and bigger. And I don't plan to ever sell. And I think as hodlers, that's kind of the end game, right? When you look at the big picture of what cryptocurrency is, there is no exit strategy out of cryptocurrency. The only exit strategy that people are really looking at is an exit strategy out of the US dollar or whatever currency they're in, depending on what country they're from. So, from my standpoint, that's why I keep the HODL account. But I like this hybrid approach where I get to keep trading and making gains or possibly losing some days. But overall, I'm trying to play the market a little bit. And Actually, I find it kind of fun. I don't know if you do that or not, Dean. I'm not sure what your 100% strategy is, but I've got to imagine that you don't just buy. Have you ever sold any of your cryptocurrency?
Actually, I haven't. I have converted some coins into other coins, but at this point, I haven't sold. I don't think I've ever sold any coin at all, to tell you the truth.
Wow.
I do plan to sell. I do plan to take profits. And I mean, I think actively trading it can be a really great thing. I don't do that because I already actively trade on almost a daily basis, foreign exchange currencies, and that keeps my brain busy enough with minute to minute and day to day transactions. So that's really why I haven't actively traded cryptos. I think they can be a great thing to actively trade. I mean, when you're in a bull market like this, I think it can be fantastic because you could suck at trading and still make a ton of money. The exit strategy is kind of crazy because it's like, yeah, where do you go with all those gains? On the one hand, you don't want to just see all those gains like deflate when you could have had so much more if you had sold and this and that. And where do you go to? And I do have a few different ideas about that we can discuss another time, and none of them are really perfect. So it's still a question I'm trying to figure out for myself, to tell you the truth.
So for me, I love the game of trading, and I trade almost every day. This year, I have over 2,000 trades that I've made across the cryptocurrency spectrum already, and we're only in May. I've slowed down a little bit because the volatility of the market hasn't been there like it was previously, but you can kind of see patterns, and if you follow it enough, you kind of understand what the ranges are. So you can start looking at those things and saying, okay, aha, here's an opportunity. A couple nights ago we had a technical issue, and all of a sudden the market corrected, and that I saw as a buying opportunity, not a selling opportunity. So it's one of those things. I think you're either one or the other, or you're kind of like me. You want to do both, right? I want to have my savings account over here, but I also want to have my play account over here. And that's kind of how I look at my trading account. That's my play, that's my fun time. And if I were in your shoes where I'm already trading a bunch of currencies day in, day out, yeah, the last thing I'd want to do is have to worry about adding on another thing to trade in a different exchange. So I totally understand that. So I think we understand what hodling is about. It's a funny term. It's only used for cryptocurrency as far as I'm aware, right? And I
Yeah.
love the metaphor, hold on for dear life, because that is exactly the feeling you get every time the market starts to shift.
Yeah, exactly.
The good news, the good news is that if you were able and lucky enough to get in to crypto when it was a few pennies or a few $100s, if you were a holder of that and you spent your time holding it this entire time, you've made a fortune. You've made an absolute fortune, even if you only own one Bitcoin. So that's the positive.
Well,
The other thing,
that's when exit strategies start becoming really important, right? Because during the last cycle, people did buy in at pennies or dollars, and they made a fortune, and then they watched that fortune disappear, and that's obviously a concern on a lot of people's minds. So I just want to let the audience know that exit strategies are something that we're going to cover more in more videos in the future. And so definitely subscribe to this channel if you want to catch more content like that coming up. And if you found value in this content, please give us a like and come along for the ride and hold on for dear life with us.
thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Bye bye.
Bye bye, Dean.